And so what's the difference between natural and cultured pearls?
So a natural pearl is when it's just total fluke of nature. It is not grown in a farm. It's you're just lucky enough to find it, which is where mainly natural pearls that we find now are from antique jewelry. So it's vintage jewelry, Georgian, Edwardian, Victorian, and before. So yeah, they're very special.
And how many colours do natural pearls come in?
So natural pearls could come in any color. It depends on the oyster or the mussel that they're brought in. So for example, this is a mussel.
Fresh. It's like a sword to me.
It looks like a sword to me, but do you see these three
end,
little tiny pearls? So these are fresh water, natural pearls that come from the River Tay. So
those are sort of pink.
Those are pinky brownie. They could be purpley. They could be any color that a mussel would produce. Then the South Sea pearl, the natural pearls that come from a white-lipped oyster would be white. The ones that come from a black-lipped oyster would have gray overtone. And then you could have them slightly goldeny, any color that a pearl would be found in a cultured pearl. Yeah.
Interesting.
A natural pearl has orient. It does not have luster.
Okay.
So so a cultured pearl has luster because there's less layers of nacre to look through, whereas a natural pearl is all nacre, and therefore it has orient. And orient is like looking at the moon reflected on a lake, if that makes any sense to you. So it's
romantic, smoky.
Yeah, and it's huge depth. So your eye is invited into the core of the pearl.
And they come in all shapes? Or?
All shapes. They can be round. I mean, obviously, round or drop shape are very prized because they're easy to use as a jewelry, but they can come in all shapes. Yeah, absolutely. Natural pearls are made when an organism either eats its way through the shell and then pops inside, and then the pearl then needs to cover itself. So that's why you get lots of blisters natural. Whereas with a natural pearl in a shape like this, it would have meant that something actually went through the oyster, sliced through the epithelial cell, taking epithelial cells with it into the body, and then it started producing. So really rare.
So Mum, tell me about natural pearls. They are the rarest, most expensive, as I understand.
Yes.
So why are they so special?
So natural pearl is a fluke of nature. It is when an oyster or a mussel is attacked naturally. It protects itself, it doesn't die, and it creates a pearl.
And so that makes them incredibly expensive because they're so rare.
Yeah, so that would make them very expensive and rare because you'd only be able to find 1 to 3 pearls per 5,000 oysters.
Wow. Yeah. Because they're natural, does that mean they're more fragile, that they break easier?
No, they're actually very concentric, structurally concentric and very strong. You can actually stamp on it and you wouldn't be able to break it because the structure is so solid.
I hear there's this famous natural pearl called La Pellegrina, is that right? Can you tell us its story?
That's right. So La Pellegrina was found by a slave. He was given his freedom when he found it. It then went through many royal families, and then eventually probably the most famous recent owner was Elizabeth Taylor. It was bought for her by Richard Burton, and then it recently went back into the auctions and it was sold for millions to an undisclosed buyer.
Wow. Interesting. And natural pearls, how would you style them? How would I wear them, and how would you wear them?
So because they're very special, it's like such a fluke of nature. I would just tend to wear one. So like this pin or like this, it's just one as an accent point.
And I hear that they're more expensive than diamonds. I mean, people hear of diamonds being a girl's best friend, but natural pearls are more important, is that right?
So natural pearls by carat weight are the same price as a diamond. But originally they were prized way beyond diamonds because they were born naturally beautiful.
Fascinating.